Well, welcome in once again, everybody, to another exciting, informative show on Pick Your Politics. We got a great show today. Why? Because we got a great guest for you on the show today, and you're going to learn a heck of a lot about what's going on in the state, whether you're a Republican, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're an independent. We have them all on because we like introducing these people to you, whether they're in office already or the people that are running for office to displace them, and to keep you up to date on what's going on in the world of politics. Let me introduce our very special guest. She's been, you were on a little while ago when you were running for the Senate.
Correct.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, was it that long ago?
Yes.
Wow.
We're in a whole different election cycle.
Yeah. Jill Douglas, let me introduce her. Jill currently serves as the chair of the Clark County Republican Party, having been elected in 2025.
Correct.
Okay.
July.
Okay, yes. And Jill, prior to that, ran as the Republican candidate for Nevada State Senate District 6, I believe. And you also have served as the president of the Battle-Born Republican Women of Southern Nevada. I just love that name, Battle-Born.
Yes.
That's what we're all about.
That's right.
Yeah. Jill has over 3 decades of experience as a financial services advisor and manager. How did you get into that? I got to be honest, because numbers and it's boring to me.
I know. It's one of those things I just kind of fell into, actually, because I by training, I was in college, I was studying to be a teacher, but then I started working at a law firm, and then I thought I would become an attorney. Married a military guy. We started traveling around. We ended up in Tacoma, Washington. And I had a friend who was ironically moving to Las Vegas, and she had been working with an insurance agent. And so I thought, gosh, that sounds interesting. Everybody pays so much of their budget towards insurance, financial services. Nobody understands it.
True.
I went and I met with the owner of the agency. He hired me. Then it was just like I got licensed, and I just loved it because I realized, like so many things happen to people unexpectedly, but to be able to have a plan in place to help people financially get through that, it was just, I found my spot,
Yeah, and obviously you did very, very well with it. Her priorities during her Senate campaign included education, limited government, health care, and healthcare treatment for veterans and seniors. And we're going to touch upon that a little bit as we go along, because those are really, really important. Jill, in your view, what's the best way a candidate can separate himself or herself from any opposition that they have?
You just have to connect with people. Too often, I think candidates lead with focus on themselves. And you really need to focus on the constituents, the voters. You really have to connect with them and find out what their pain points are, because what you think they are and what they actually are may be two different things.
Yeah, true. That's very true. That's very true. What's the main focus you have in your current position? Because you're responsible for a lot of stuff.
Yes, I am. And really, I think the number one thing is to look at the state of Nevada and say, what makes, a good, strong state? Well, first of all, you have to have strong communities, right? So strong communities build strong states build a strong nation. And so really, politics all starts locally. People tend to focus on presidential election years, but they forget that our pain points start locally. The education of our children starts with local school boards,
Right.
And the property taxes that we pay, the roads that we drive on, the public safety issues, law enforcement. This is all local issues. And so Nevada's a unique state because 74% of the voters in this state live in one county. So in terms of being able to surround our governor with a state legislature that allows him to advance his agenda versus sitting there in a defensive posture just vetoing bad bills, then the only way you're able to do that is by electing more conservatives who champion our values from Clark County.
Yeah.
People don't realize that of the 42 state assembly that we have, 31 of them are from Clark County. And of the 21 senators, 16 are from Clark County. So what happens in the state of Nevada is based upon what's happening in Clark County. And we know that, limited government, lower taxation, better educational opportunities, safer communities, attainable housing, access to good health care are all critically important to building strong communities.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, well said. Earlier in your bio, I mentioned some of the areas that you were particularly concerned about. Does one stand out from the others that you have? Because they're all great as far as public safety, education, healthcare. Does one stand out, though, that's particularly near and dear to you?
They're all so important, and I really look at things like, building strong communities and helping create prosperity for all Nevadans is really a nonpartisan issue.
Yeah, true.
And
True.
It's just my belief that the way we do that, first of all, starts with a very transparent government. And I was deeply disturbed last session when Andy Matthews, our state controller, wanted to introduce a bill that would create an office of an inspector general, which would basically audit our books. And do you know our Democratic state legislature wouldn't let that have a hearing? That should be a nonpartisan issue.
I agree.
Totally. And then, and then you look at it and you say, our greatest asset is our future generations and providing them the best educational opportunities possible. And no one shall feel good about the fact that we're like number 49th in the country in terms of our education. And the number of failing schools that we have, which really lock in children in the most low-income neighborhoods. And so to say that schools should have to have competition just like businesses do. Yeah. Businesses compete for customers, so you have to provide a good service if you want a customer. Yeah. Our school systems should have to compete for the students. And so parents need to be empowered to say, you choose the school that is going to provide the best educational opportunity for your child based upon the way that they learn, because not all children learn the same.
No.
So the only way we improve the school system is to say universal school choice. Parent, you decide where you want to send your, and it could even be homeschooling. We need, if you're homeschooling your child, the government is still providing dollars towards the education of that student, and those dollars should follow that student.
I agree.
So I'm very, very passionate about that.
Yeah.
The components to strong communities starts with educating your children. If you educate your children, then you're producing individuals who will be able to become contributing members of society. You don't want kids who fell out of school, who drop out of school, because you're trying to teach them in a way that they don't learn, subject matter that doesn't interest them. You want to keep all children engaged, find their talents, find their gifts, find their abilities, develop them, make them feel good about themselves.
Exactly.
So they become contributing members of society. Then they won't fall back to committing crime.
Exactly.
So the parallels. Strong schools are important to reduce crime in your communities. And public safety is the one issue that actually affects every single person in Nevada. Yeah. Some issues only affect some people. But public safety, having safe communities and neighborhoods. Everybody.
Yeah. Great point. Great point. Speaking of schools, you earned your high school diploma from, get this, Niceville Senior High School. Kind of an unusual name, isn't it?
Right.
Where I go to
There
Niceville.
truly is a Niceville, Florida.
Oh,
It is
my
Nicevalle. So yes, Niceville Senior High School. Look, I'm from the Florida Panhandle. I tease people and they'll say, where are you from? And I'll go, LA. And they're like, what? And I'll go, Lower Alabama. And that's the Florida Panhandle. We're under Alabama, right? So if you detect a little bit of an accent, it's that Lower Alabama, So I was born on Eglin Air Force Base and raised in a community. They call them the Twin Cities, which was Valparaiso and Niceville, Florida. And it was a great upbringing. We were are surrounded by the bayous that lead to the bay, that leads to the Gulf of America now. And, so I grew up on the most, look, if you've never been to Destin, Florida, you're missing out because it is true. It is, I'm telling you, there is no beach more beautiful than the beaches in Destin, Florida. White sand, emerald green blue water. They are ranked the number one beaches in the world.
You told me you're a beach and sun gal.
Yeah. So, I grew up in a small town. My grandfather was the chief of police and grew up to respect law enforcement, grew up with a strong love of America because my father was in the military. My mom stayed home to raise the kids till my brother got in elementary school, and then she started going to college. And I'll tell you, it was just a very my parents worked very, very hard to educate us, save money, buy a home. My mom started working at the local bank, and everywhere you went in town, you walked down to swim in the bayous, you walked by the bank to say hi to your mom, you walked everywhere. People knew you. You could go to the local store and say, can I try that on? They say, sure, take it home. If it fits, come back and buy it. If not, bring it. I mean, it was just a wonderful, very family-oriented. Churches really had strong components in the community, and strong families, strong values. And I'll tell you that while a lot of people say you never talk politics and religion, it was basically all my family talked about. It was all politics and religion. So I grew up with just loving politics and a strong faith.
And here you are.
And here I am.
And here you are. It serves you well. Our special guest today on Pick Your Politics, Jill Douglas, who is chairwoman of the Clark County Republican Party. What is your plan to get more Republicans here to get out and vote, Jill?
Right.
Because that is so important.
Yes. So we're focused on a couple of things. First of all, Clark County is so big that we can't be everything to every particular area.
No.
So we actually use data and we determine what areas do we think have the greatest opportunity. So while we would love to win every assembly race and every Senate race, that's just not possible. So we look at what areas have paths to victory and how can we plug in. And so this particular cycle, we are focused on the Senate 8, 9, and 12 races, the Assembly races under those, as well as Assembly 12 and Assembly 37. So 3 Senate, 8 Assembly races that we really feel like, based upon the current voter registration and based upon past performance, that we really have opportunity to plug in. And where we're really going to make a difference is we are building that grassroots precinct level game where we're filling all the precincts with precinct captains. And we know that when you win your neighborhood, that's how you win elections.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True, very, very true. Are you a local leader with a message for the community? We want to hear from you. Our podcast is inviting local politicians and public officials to join us for real conversations about the issues that matter most to our community. Share your vision, explain your policies, and connect directly with the people you represent. If you're currently serving, running for office, or involved in shaping local policy, we'd love to have you on the show. Reach out today to schedule an episode and be part of the conversation. Contact me by text at 702-712-3224. Two issues that I know are very important to you, and you just brought them up. One is education, and the other one is public safety. What would you change to improve those? And I know that could be a very, very long answer, but
Yeah. Well, with schools, I think it really starts with empowering parents to be able to choose which school they want their child to go to.
School choice.
School choice. But then you also have to have high academic standards. It really bothers me that we've gutted the grading scale. We won't fail a child now. And you have to put an emphasis on core academics. Children do not go to school to be indoctrinated with critical race theory, Marxist ideology, or sexual indoctrination. Children go to school, they need to learn, the core academics, how to read, how to write, how to do math, understanding science, and we need more civics in school.
Yeah. Good point. Very, very, very good point. Do you think that the schools should make a play, or the educational system should make a play to, and I think they probably do now, you know better than I do, to some extent, to really go out and hire the best teachers they could find?
Absolutely.
'Cause that's critical.
Absolutely. Yes, you need to hire good teachers. And you know what? We need to stop teacher tenure, in my opinion, because tenure rewards mediocrity. It's
Yes.
No matter what job I do, they can't get rid of me. And that's not the way to have good teachers. I believe the way to have good teachers is hire good people, pay them well, and incentivize them for the results that you want. So that when schools are performing well, when teachers are performing well, their students are doing well academically, then there should look in corporate America. When you want results in your business, you incent your workforce and with bonuses.
Right.
And so I think if teachers realize, if I can get all of my students performing at this level, I don't even think read by 3. I mean, it's better than nothing. But honestly, I had one of my sons was in the military, and he was assigned to England. And the children went to local schools, there weren't schools, not schools on the base. And my grandchildren were reading by first grade. They have a really good preschool, kindergarten programs, and children are reading by the time they get to first grade. And so I think we're behind the curve with that. Our children do need to be reading in first grade, and the earlier they read, the more they'll like school,
Sure.
right?
I agree.
So you've got to have high standards. They've got to be focused on the academics. We should not be making apologies and trying to hold back children who excel in school. Like they have these accelerated programs, and now we want to say, oh, no, we can't have accelerated programs because that might make this student feel bad. No, you don't want to ever cap out someone's learning.
No.
You should always be offering a greater ability to learn, but maybe you do need to have special programs in place to work with those that are struggling.
Give them the incentive
and incent teachers to be able to help those students.
I've had some I'm curious to get your answer on this, some discussion on this, but I do want your opinion. Do you think that when someone runs for office, political office, obviously, they should have had some political experience or just come out as a newbie, so to speak, like most of them do?
I think it would help them to perhaps run stronger races if they have had some experience as a volunteer for campaigns.
Okay.
I think one of the things that's really helped me is years ago, I started off just volunteering. I've knocked on thousands and thousands of doors and made thousands and thousands and thousands of calls.
I'll bet you have.
And it's so that by the time I ran for office, I had no call reluctance. I thought knocking on doors was fun because you get to talk to people.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of candidates, if they don't really understand how campaigns work because they've never participated in it. And I would encourage anyone who has a desire to run for office, it's important to sit with someone and talk about what would be the right race for them and what would be the right time. It could perhaps be that you're in the right place at the right time. But oftentimes, I think you'd be better off by saying, hey, I want to run and I'd like to run for this, but this go round, let me help the person who is running so that I become more experienced in the process and learn.
A little bit more about what it takes makes absolutely perfect sense. So I'm hoping you're going to say that you're going to believe we're going to see a red wave in the upcoming state elections.
I can tell you that we are going to give it everything we've got, you know.
And that's all you can do,
That's all
folks.
you can do. I know for what we've been able to do on the county party level is we have a plan. There hasn't been a plan before, and we have a plan. And we're actually calling it double nickel. You know, it's like a 5 by 5, 5 for 5. We've done the data and we've done some modeling that shows us that in the last midterm, if we had 5% more Republicans turn out, we would have flipped all these seats. So the thing that we have to do is engage with Republicans and say, we need you to show up.
Right.
You know, and
Very important.
do you know we've identified there are 5,000 Republicans in these key Senate seats who always vote in the presidential elections, but they never vote in the midterm?
Really?
And yet,
Wow.
but again, and these midterms are just as important. Your pain points are local,
Yep.
and you need to have a say in your city council government, your county commission government, your school board representatives, and who's sitting on the state legislature passing those laws that affect your everyday life.
True.
Because I'll tell you what, the most eye-opening thing is I started becoming involved with the legislative sessions about 3 cycles ago, was that there so too many of our state legislatures, I believe, are bought out by special interest. And when you watch them and you watch the bills that they support and their conduct, what you see is for some of these woke Democratic legislators, they're not interested in the constituents. The least important person to them is we, the voters. And I want to change that because we should be the most important person to the person that we elect into office.
Absolutely. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'll tell you. Yeah, it's so important, folks, that you've got to get out and vote. Vet the candidates, all of them. Make up your mind which way you want to go. And I want to leave you with this. I want to ask you with this because this is not going to be an easy question to answer, I don't think. But you're up to the task. I know you are. What's the main difference, whether it's in thinking, philosophy, whatever, between a Republican and a Democrat? Why does a Republican think the way they do? Why do the Democrats think the way they do and look upon things so differently?
Right. That is a great question. And it's my belief that it really comes down to the role of government. Republicans are totally committed to limited government. You know, we need less government. the more you get government involved with your life, the more you get government involved with anything. Look at the disaster that healthcare is today. You know why it's that way? Because the government got involved in healthcare.
Yeah.
Government
Yeah.
is ineffective, inefficient, and costly. We need limited government. We need lower taxation. Individuals need to be able to bring home more of their paychecks.
Yep.
When you grow the government, how do they get their money? From taxation.
Right.
So when you grow the government,
100%.
they're going to take more of your taxpayers,
Right.
More of your tax dollars. So we are all about limiting the role of government. We are all about lower taxation, and we are about free markets. Again, removing barriers and burdensome regulation that impact the ability of businesses and business people to be successful.
Yeah, no, that's well said.
And the interesting thing is, whenever I talk to somebody about those topics, and I don't talk about are you an R or a D or whatever, I just say, what is your belief about the role of government? Do you want more government involved with your life or less? They always say less. Do you want to pay more taxes or less taxes? They always say, I want less taxes. Would you like to be able to open a business and grow a business with less government bureaucracy? And they say, so actually more people are Republicans than they know they're Republicans.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Wake up.
Wake up. Right. We are the party of the people.
Wake up to that fact. Looking out at our audience, what can you tell them if they do want to help the Republican Party? Who do they get a hold of? Could they contact you? Could they go to meetings? What can they do to get more involved?
The best starting point to get involved is to go in on our website, which is ccrpnv.com. ccrpnv.com. And when you go on that website, you can find the contact information. There's a link for information. You can email me, chair@ccrpnv.com. You can call me, 702-497-3352. Right now, we are looking for precinct captains to fill the precincts to build our warriors, right? We got to take the fight to the street.
Right.
So we need precinct captains to help us do that. There's roughly, 50 to 60 precincts in each Senate district. And so we need a lot of precinct captains to build that ground game. That becomes the volunteer base to help us put our plan in place, knocking on doors, talking to voters, registering voters, engaging with voters,
Very
letting them
important.
know that this is not an election cycle that you can sit out. There's a lot of pain points to Nevadans, but when we come together and we show up and we vote for effective leadership, we can make a difference.
Yeah. Why has not philosophy, the I don't know what term to call it, that people think that in a midterm, it's the other party that wins, usually.
Right.
I don't know where that came from.
I know. It's as if they, I think the party in power a lot of times gets a lot of press, but there's a lot of misinformation in the press. And if you don't know how to research issues and find information, you very well are operating off of misinformation.
Yeah. True. So that's not true, and you've got to remember, you just got to do your part.
Do
Tell
your
your friends,
research.
like I say, vet the candidates, and you got to go out and vote, and that is really, really important. And it's going to make a
And donate
difference
to your
from you.
candidates because, it does take money to win elections. It just does. And so if you truly are committed to principled government in our state, to electing conservatives who champion our values to help us improve schools, to help us improve public safety and these issues, whatever your neighborhood is, whoever the candidates are running, candidates, whether it's a $10 donation, a $25 donation, or the max $10,000 donation, your candidates need money in order to execute their plan.
Great point. And it all adds up. $5, $10, $50.
And you can donate to the party. If you go in on our website, there's a donation link, and our proceeds are going in towards voter registration efforts. We want to do some town halls so that we even invite those swing nonpartisan voters and talk about the issues that are important to them. Again, we want to take this fight to the street. We want to engage with people.
Town halls are great.
Yes.
Are great because you hear a lot of really, really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Anyway, Jill, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
for
It's always a
coming.
pleasure.
It's always great to have you. We hope to have you on again, and we'll see what happens in the future. And as you know, any way we can help you, just do not hesitate.
We appreciate it.
And remember those websites. Give them to that again.
Yes, ccrpnv.com.
Yeah.
You know, if you
CCRP.
Google Clark County Republican Party, Nevada, you'll find us.
it there. You'll find it there. So make your voice heard and do it. Anyway, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And election's going to be here before you know it, folks. So
Absolutely.
So stay on top of it. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Pick Your Politics. I'm Dennis Silvers along with Jill Douglas, and we will see you next week with another candidate. So until then, so long, everybody.